One prompt build this. This is a website generated by AI from that single prompt in one shot. This is Kimi K3, released this week by a Chinese startup, and it's currently ranked number 1 in the world for AI build website. Here is what it actually is, what it can do, and how we got here. In 2017, Google published a paper introducing the Transformer, an AI design that could look at an entire sentence at once instead of reading word by word. So the work could be split across thousands of chips running in parallel. That single idea is the ancestor of every major AI model since then, including Kimi. By 2022, OpenAI ChatGPT showed the world what this model could do, using a technique called reinforcement learning with human feedback. Humans rank the AI answers, and the model gets nudged toward what people prefer. The US pulled ahead fast, and a month earlier, the US government had already restricted the advanced chips China could buy to train AI at all. China responds: instead of competing behind closed source, give model away for free as open-weight anyone can download and build on. In January 2025, DeepSeek Air1 model did this so effectively, it wiped nearly $600 billion of Nvidia stock in a single day. But Chinese lab kept iterating. Alibaba Quan, Shifu GLM, and a Beijing startup called Moonshot AI, founded in 2023 by a former Google and Meta researcher. The chatbot is called Kimi, and the newest model released this week is Kimi K3. So, what actually is Kimi K3, and is it as good as the headline says? Let's get into it. First, Kimi K3 is enormous on paper, 2.8 trillion parameters, the largest open-weight model ever announced, but it doesn't run all of that at once. It uses a technique called mixture of experts. So think of it as a hospital with hundreds of specialists, and a receptionist would instantly route your question to only the 2 or 3 who actually needs to see it. The model also has a 1 million token window, as any frontier model out there now. You could hand it an entire book series and it will still remember chapter 1. And it takes images input, not just text. Its reasoning is always switched on, which means better answers on hard questions, but it can't be dialed down for simple one, which is a limitation we'll discuss later. It runs on a new attention design Moonshot called Kimi Delta Attention, built to stay efficient even at that huge context land. On the benchmark that judged AI build website, real head-to-head comparison voted on by humans, Kimi K3 is first, 1,679 points, beating Claude Fable 5, which is 1,631, and GPT-5.6, 1,618. It won 76 of its head-to-head matchup, which means a user looked at 2 websites, one generated by Kimi, one generated by a different model, and chose Kimi 76% of the time. It is also first on 2 coding benchmarks, sustained multi-step engineering work, and general coding correctness. And on the benchmark for finding and synthesizing information across the web, it posted a state-of-the-art score ahead of both GPT-5.6 and Claude. But here's the honest caveat. It is not me saying it. It is Moonshot's own tech blog. I'll put the link in the description for you. Its overall performance still trails the most powerful proprietary model, Claude Fable 5 and GPT-5.6. So, even the company that built it admit it is not the single best AI model on earth. It is excellent at specific things. And the proof isn't just the desktop clone from earlier. It is a single 48 hours autonomous run with no human help. Kimi K3 designed, built, and verified an actual working computer chip. Separately, it built a working compiler from scratch, the software that translates code into instruction a graphic chip understands. And it matched or beats Nvidia's own official tool on real benchmark. This one needs to be verified. It's still a claim on their website, but if the AI can design a chip and build the code around it to make it efficient, this is incredible. Moonshot own word, a chip built by a model for a model. If you want to try it yourself, it is available now through an API, priced at $3 per million input token and $15 per million output token, the same tier as Claude Sonnet, the cheapest model from Claude. The full open-weight release, the version you could just download and run yourself for free, is promised by July 27, but as this video, it hasn't shipped yet. Also, millions of dollars to be able to run this model because it is extremely big. Here's what makes open-weight models genuinely different. There is no terms of services left to break. You can fine-tune Kimi K3, build a direct competitor with it, run it entirely offline forever for free. But try that with GPT or Claude and you are bound by users policy that company can enforce or revoke your access over any time. But that freedom cuts both ways, though. Security researchers have shown an open model safety training can be stripped out in under 10 minutes using free tools, a real risk. And here's the irony. Chinese models are trained to avoid certain political topics like Tiananmen Square or Taiwan statue, but because the weights are open, people have shown those restrictions can be fine-tuned away too in about the same 10 minutes it takes to strip the safety filters. It is not perfect. Independent testing found Kimi K3 hallucinate, which means it makes things up, about 51% of the time on a hard factuality test, which is actually worse than Moonshot's own previous model. It got better at coding, it may have gotten less reliable at just telling the truth. It also can't turn its reasoning down. One developer tested it with a simple prompt and found it burned over 13,000 reasoning tokens and to produce a 3,000 token answer, nearly 4 times the overhead. That makes even simple tasks more expensive than they need to be. And remember, open-weight is a promise right now, not a fact. Until those files are actually published, you can use Kimi K3, but you can't yet download it and run it or fine-tune a way of its restriction yourself. Here's what actually makes this landscape so lopsided. In June 2026, Anthropic released Fable 5, its most powerful model. 3 days later, the US government issued an export control order and had it suspended worldwide over national security concern about what it could be just broken to do. Anthropic had also quietly built limits on its model without telling anyone, a decision it later apologized for. When Fable 5 came back weeks later, subscribers got about 1 week of included access before hitting a paywall. A few weeks later, a Chinese startup released a model that beats its on several real human judge benchmark. And instead of locking it down, they priced it like a mid-tier product on day one and promised to just give the entire thing away for free within 2 weeks. No government intervention, no secret restrictions. This week, Kimi K3 release also triggered a real market reaction. Nvidia briefly lost its spot as the world's most valuable company. SoftBank dropped 9% investors in Nvidia, and the chip sector has its worst week in over a year. Press is calling it a DeepSeek flashback. The second time in 18 months, a Chinese open-weight model has rattled the US market. And this time, the reaction was faster. So what is Kimi K3? A 2.8 trillion parameter Chinese open-weight model from a 2-year-old startup, currently the best in the world at building visual software from a prompt, available today through an API, genuinely freer to build on than a closed model on its way shipped with real limitation around reliability and cost efficiency. It is not the best AI on earth, but while the US treats its own frontier model like national security risk to be locked down, China's answer is to just give theirs away, and that gap keeps closing faster each time. This one, you could go and try for yourself right now.